What is up, guys? Clay Enjoyer here, and it is time to enjoy. In this video, I'm making a venomized Kirby. And even to begin with, Kirby was already pretty scary because he inhales his opponents and then just cease to exist. But now he gets to do the same thing with a bunch of big scary teeth and a nasty tongue. To start making this abomination, I can start with an aluminum foil ball, give it some armature legs, and start building it up with clay. Even though I mounted it on this block, I will very quickly and obviously take it off because I think it's a bit easier to handle. Now I can try and smooth out the ball and then get ready to cut out its big mouth. But just before I do that, I can actually give Kirby two big beans for feet and blend them in on the sides, and then I can actually start hollowing out the mouth. Now, I don't know if any of you guys are really curious, or even care for that matter, which is fine, but the only reason I'm actually doing a Venom Kirby is because I thought it was something that I could do quickly, because I had plans which made me lose track of time, so I wanted to try and quickly get a video out so that you guys have a video to watch. Now, with a little Joker-inspired surgery, I can make his mouth even bigger and then pull out some of the aluminum foil to make his mouth a bit deeper, but I will actually end up pulling all of the aluminum foil out, which gives him a massive mouth, which I think is even more appropriate because, well, he is a pink blob, and his primary attack, I guess, is suction. Then I can give him some mouth worms of clay to make it look a little bit grosser, and then I can blend them in to make them look quote-unquote natural. Now, to make this Kirby look a bit more like Venom instead of entirely Kirby, I can carve out the eyes, and then I can give them a little smoothing on the edge to make it look less like marking. And then I can also roll out some more beans of clay, which will act as Kirby's arms, which he will have stretched back in the Kirby-esque come at me bro pose. Now, to make sure that no one else forgot that this was a Venom Kirby crossover, I can now finally add the massive, long, scary teeth that make Venom so recognizable. And then I can stick them loosely in place all around and behind each other to make them look extra gnarly. Now that Venom Kirby is looking extra British, I can start with a big worm of clay and cut it down the center so I can fit an aluminum armature wire inside, which will be bent into place and textured. That will then be the future tongue. And to give the tongue a bit of more interesting shape than just perfectly straight, with the wire in place, I can bend it into a goofy looking loop-de-loop, and then I can start by texturing it to make it look, well, like it's supposed to, which starts with a dividing line down the center, and then I can carve approximately 20 billion cuts into the tongue to make it look extra tongue-y, I guess. Now that all the sculpting is done, I can put both the tongue and Kirby into the oven and then to bake them. Now, I can start by painting Kirby his nice pink color. Then, while that same color of pink is on my paintbrush, I can also paint the tongue that same pink. But it will get dry brushing a bit later, so it will look a little bit different. It won't look the exact same. With the tongue painted, I can then paint the mouth a more mouth-appropriate color, and then some little darker highlights, but they're kind of difficult to see, but just know that they're there. Then I can paint Kirby's shoes the, well, Kirby shoe red, and then I can move on to painting the rest of the model and making the eyes a little bit more cohesive because some of the paint crept up on the sides, so some white paint will smooth it out and make it look extra good. Then I can paint the teeth white to clean them up from all the overpainting of pink, Then I can start dry brushing the tongue with a darker purplish pink like I had mentioned earlier. And to make the tongue's color look even more interesting and give it a little bit of extra depth, I can layer up that darker pink a lot heavier on the back and blend it towards the front so it looks like there's a relatively smooth gradient. Even though this is barely noticeable inside Venom Kirby's mouth, I still thought it was a nice touch. Now, to really hammer home the Kirby British aesthetic, I can paint his teeth a coffee-stained look, and then which makes them look extra dirty and extra British. Then I can dry brush some lighter pink and lighter red on Kirby's body and his shoes to give him some extra detail from all the smoothing that I did. Because when I was doing that, I wasn't trying to get it incredibly smooth, which makes it look even better. Then I can give Kirby his magenta blush, and then I can change my mind and paint that side black. Because like the movie posters, I don't know, remember the actor's name, but the actor and Venom like half and half, I wanted to do something like that, so this is what I was trying to do here. And I mixed a little bit of glue with this black to try and make it look textury. And this white stuff on the tongue, that's not what you think it is, obviously, but this should dry slightly shiny to make the tongue look extra wet. And with this hot glue, I can make it extra wet looking by giving it a bunch of fake saliva. Now with the tongue overly salivaed, I can then glue the tongue into place with even more hot glue in an appropriately cool pose. Then I can put even more saliva all over the teeth, really just to absolutely nail the gross aspect. Then, since that black glue finally dried, I can dry brush some dark blue on it, and then I can start making a base, which starts as this concrete sheet. Well, that's what it'll eventually be. Before then I can snap it apart to make it look like I just described. And then I can break it into probably too many pieces, but that's okay. Then I can cut the sides down to make it look a bit more broken, and then I can glue it back together on a foam circle that I had cut to size and glued. And to seal the gaps on the side and around the base, because the cuts were a little jagged, I used some plaster to fill it in and make it look more like a single piece. And then I can start by base coating it in a dark cement gray. And to make the broken concrete slab look extra dirty, I can give it a nice dark gray wash that I can allow it to dry and seep into all the recesses and cracks to make it look extra realistic. Then, to finish it off, I can do some light gray dry brushing on the edges and all over. I think this really makes it look good. Then, I can paint the sides black, put Kirby in place, and then it's on to the reveal. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more videos that no one asked for, but they're still super cool. Alright, see you next time. Bye.